Hello, my name is Carrie Cornell, and this is my Project 1 for the Analysis of Variance class at Oklahoma State University. I chose to do this project about weekly exercise among a college population, and I chose this topic for a few different reasons. First, I worked as a personal trainer and nutritionist for about 15 years after I completed my bachelor's degree in exercise science. And then I went back to school and got my master's in health promotion, and I'm currently a PhD student in health promotion at Oklahoma State University. Additionally, I teach an undergraduate course titled Total Wellness. To start off, we'll just mention briefly the health benefits of exercise. So the health benefits of exercise are vast and widely accepted among health professionals. Positive outcomes from consistent exercise include, but are far from limited to, improved immune function, weight management, improved mental health, and increased lifespan. According to physical activity guidelines for Americans, it is recommended that adults age 18 and above participate in at least 150 minutes, which is about 2.5 hours, of exercise every week. Now, the college years are not only a very important time to engage in exercise for those specific health benefits, but also a great time to create a foundation for healthy habits that will last a lifetime. My research question for this project is, do college students of different grade levels exercise a significantly different average number of hours each week? My null hypothesis is that there is no significant difference between groups in the average weekly hours of exercise. My alternative hypothesis is that at least one group is significantly different from another group. Methods for this study are listed here. So data was self-collected by me, the instructor, and answers were given by students in whole number format. My participants were my students of the undergraduate course that I teach called Total Wellness. So in that lecture, I had 62 students, and 30 responses were randomly selected, which gave me about 48% of my students. The instruments used were either a pen or pencil, and I provided slips of paper with 2 questions to the students. The students answered these 2 questions. One, what year in college are you? And they answered freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior. The second question was, what's the average number of exercise per week that you participate in? And for that, the students answered in whole numbers. This data was recorded on an Excel spreadsheet, and 10 responses were randomly chosen from each group utilizing the RAND function on Excel software. The independent variable, which is year in college, is a single categorical independent variable. And the dependent variable, which is weekly hours of exercise, is a single continuous dependent variable. So this justifies the use of a one-way ANOVA using SPSS software to evaluate this study. The level of significance was set at 0.05. The results of this study begin here. We tested the assumptions for ANOVA. So the sample sizes are equal and there were no outliers. The normality of my data was tested with the Shapiro-Wilk test, and it was determined that not all of my data was normally distributed. And you can see that by the red highlighted number on the test of normality table. The 0.022 is not greater than 0.05, which indicates that my data is not normally distributed. The table on the bottom right corner shows the results of the Levine's test, which determined that which determined that my data did have equal variances assumed. Now, due to the result of the Shapiro-Wilk test being that my data is not normally distributed, that called for the adjustment of the Kruskal-Wallis test. Also on this slide, you'll see in the top right corner is the table that just lists some of the descriptive data for my groups. So after utilizing the adjusted test, being the Kruskal-Wallis, the results are here. So the H statistic with degrees of freedom of 2 is 4.368. My p-value is 0.113. So as you can see, that p-value is greater than 0.05, which means we accept the null hypothesis that there is no significant difference in weekly hours of exercise between groups. Because we accept the null hypothesis and found no significant differences between the groups, it is determined that there is no need for post hoc analysis, and therefore no contrasts were tested for this study. Student responses within this study indicate the majority of our participant population, 87%, is achieving at least 2.5 hours of weekly exercise as suggested by physical activity guidelines for Americans. Only 13% of our participants are below this recommendation, with most falling only 30 minutes below and only 2 participants reporting no weekly exercise at all. Limitations to this study include a limited number of participants in relation to a university population, a smaller number of junior level students, which was 10, and this limited our sample size or our group size to 10. And there were also no senior students in my lecture. So we had 0 seniors within our sample. Additionally, the participants, who are all students, they are students of an elective course that is titled Total Wellness, which could imply that this population holds a bias towards positive exercise habits. Benefits of this study include creating awareness for students about their exercise habits, along with providing worthwhile insight into student habits that might allow for the researcher or lecturer, being me, opportunities to enhance class information that might enable positive behavior change among these total wellness students. And that concludes my presentation for Project 1, and I would love to hear questions, comments, or any feedback. Thank you.